What's going on, people? Welcome back to Blues Fans TV. Welcome back to another episode of Unpopular Opinions. This is the show where you guys send in your unpopular opinions, be it on Twitter or down in the comment section down below, and we respond to it the best way that we can. If we agree, we say that we agree. If we disagree, we say that we disagree as well. We'll just go into depth about why. Now guys, before we start this video, I do want to say, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to Blues Fans TV, and don't forget to press the bell notification button as well, so you'll be the first guy to know whenever we upload a new video. Without further ado, let's go straight into the questions. Pulisic is showing signs that he will already become a Hazard-like player. He's already showing that he doesn't have fear of taking a man on or losing the ball. Kind of agree with that, even though I think Eden Hazard-like player is a very big stretch, showing what he did for our club for the last 7 years. But I think Pulisic is growing. I think he started the season off pretty slowly, and I think he did need to work on his strength. He was getting bodied a lot and he was struggling with the physicality of the Premier League. But once he started to get into it a little bit more, you could see the talent in him. He got, like, I think, what was it, 5 goals in 3 games, including the perfect hat-trick against Burnley. And when you say that he doesn't have fear of taking a man on or losing the ball, I agree with you on that. I think he's direct, he makes a lot of good runs at defenders. I think his off-the-ball movement is hugely underrated. And also the fact that he doesn't, unlike Willian and Pedro, he doesn't fall into the same traps of doing the same thing continuously over and over again. He likes to ask questions of defenders. If he can cut inside, see if he can cut outside, if he can take a shot. Like we said before, off the ball movements, he asks a lot of questions of defenders, and he's going to keep doing that as he continues to develop as a player. So yeah, to be fair, I agree with this one. Yeah. Mason Mount has had a brilliant debut season in the Premier League, scapegoated far too often by our own fans. This one I agree with. I think Mason Mount, especially in the Christmas period, he did have a dip in form, and I will say, looking at this entire season, I do think his execution does need to improve. But for his first season as a Chelsea first team player, and for the age that he's at, I have no complaints to the way he's played. I think, like I said with Pulisic, his off-the-ball movement is probably the best asset to him right now. His pressing game is amazing, and he's one of the main players that starts our press from the attack. Going forward, execution does need to improve at times, but it will improve. He's, what, 20, 21 years old? I mean, he's got plenty of years left to develop, and the thing I've been emphasizing throughout a lot of the videos this season is that we can't put too much pressure on these young players. And I think Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Fikayo Tomori, all these sorts of players need to be given more time. And I think for their first Premier League season, they're not doing too bad. I mean, yeah, you could ask for more from these players because they're playing for Chelsea, but it's their first season, and for a lot of these players, their first season in the Premier League as well. For Mason Mount's first ever Premier League season, I'm not giving him too much stick for this one. I think he's had a great season. I think the sky's the limit for him. Next question. Time for Aspi to be on the bench. Harsh but true. See, I'm not sure, you know. When it comes to fullback, I hate to say it, but yeah, he doesn't have what we need in a fullback anymore. Fullbacks are being asked to do a lot more, especially going forward, and Aspi's struggling going forward. Defensively though, I still think he's got a lot to offer this team. A couple of years back, he was possibly the best one-on-one defender in the world, let alone the Premier League, and I stand by that. And I don't think he's regressed that much defensively. I still think he's a really solid defender. Sorry for the siren. We live next to a police station, a hospital, and a fire station, so sorry for that, guys. But back onto the question, I think defensively, Azpilicueta can still offer a lot this team. I'm not sure if he would be great at centre-back in a two-man centre-back partnership. I'm not sure, but defensively he's still got quality in that position. So I'm really not sure with Azpilicueta, because you know what, he's one of those players where you know his limitation, you know his strengths, and defensively he can still give you a lot. It's just going forward or trying to man an entire side of the pitch where he struggles on. So maybe at centre-back there's still a role for him, I'm not sure. Baba Rahman is a top-class left-back and he should be given more chances at Chelsea. I ain't really heard much of Baba Rahman since he went on loan. I think the last time I heard about him, he was injured for the rest of the season. I don't recall what the injury was, but I remember he was out for a long period of time. I mean, our left-backs are Marcus Alonso and Emerson, so I mean, if he's got some sort of quality, I think he would get game time in this squad. So if he does have that quality about him, why not? Lampard's a manager to give anyone opportunity, so if he sees that in him, go for it. That Bakayoko isn't terrible. He wasn't good at Chelsea, but he played through injuries many times. And he was good at Monaco prior to Chelsea and was one of Milan's best players during his loan season under Gattuso. What are you smoking? Sorry, Bakayoko is possibly the worst player I've ever seen put on a Chelsea shirt. Yeah, you can say he played through injuries at Chelsea. He only had one injury, and was it maybe 2 injuries? He had one injury at the start of the season, and he brought himself back for Tottenham away because we had one midfielder going into that match. That I can respect. But as soon as... You know what it was? It was as soon as we made that Bakayoko chant, we outed him. Because as soon as we said he never gives the ball away, what did he start doing? He started giving the ball away with every single touch. Bakayoko is terrible. I respect that he had a great spell under Gattuso at AC Milan, but it was the Serie A. It was a league where they don't press you and they don't give you as much pressure as the Premier League does. He will be a great midfielder in Serie A. Maybe Ligue 1 as well, not the Premier League. Premier League he did not last. I've never seen a player look so, not even average, amateur, like Bakayoko did. So Bakayoko is a terrible bro. Just watch a compilation or watch that Watford away video, watch any game he played between September and March, and then come back to me and tell me whether he was terrible or not. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is our best academy graduate, just needs to stay fit. He just needs to stay fit, he really does. It was so annoying seeing him come off injured in that pointless friendly match last season. Well, I won't say pointless because it was for a good cause, but the timing. Whoever organised it at that time seriously has some questions to be asked. You knew we were going to be Europa League favourites. You knew there was a good chance you were going to be in the Europa League final. And you still set a friendly in an awful pitch a week or 2 before the Europa League final. What were you thinking? Loftus-Cheek ain't even played a game since then. And he was one of our best players that season leading up to Europa League final. He was one of the few players that fully deserved the starting spot, no questions asked. He was carrying our team. I wouldn't say he was carrying our team, that's a bit of an overstatement. But after Eden Hazard, I don't think it's unfair to say he was our second best player on the team past that. I don't think that's unfair to say. I think he was a great player. And I can only imagine what position he would be in right now if he wasn't injured. I mean, with Lampard giving players hella opportunities and with him focusing on the youth as well, Loftus-Cheek would have had so much game time this season. It's annoying that I'm not saying it's annoying at him. I think he's just as annoyed as well because he knows what his quality is as well. All I can say is maybe with this lockdown and everything, by the time football comes back, he might be fully fit and ready to play again. So that might be a blessing in disguise. But hey, well, Ruben is the sooner the better. He's a quality player, and if all these injuries waste his potential, then it's going to be so unfair on him. We're not going to win the UEFA Champions League again. Shit, that's just negative. I'm just going to skip that. Marcos Alonso should be given a chance up top. I think me and Ian discussed this on the All Guns Blazing, Blue Balls podcast. Yeah, on the Blue Balls podcast. If you guys haven't check that out as well. We wouldn't put Marcos Alonso up top. Left wing in a cup game against a lower team. Again, I'm really sorry for all these sirens. Yeah, why not? I think playing him at left wing against a weaker side, I think he can still offer something going forward, and he'd have the defensive qualities to win the ball high up on the pitch as well. So yeah, why not? But against a big side, nah, they just expose him. Straight up, they just expose him. Our rivalry with Spurs is forced. We've been ahead of them this whole century. I grew up hating the teams that we actually competed with. Low-key, I kind of relate to this one because I wasn't one of those fans who had his dad take him to games and was a second-generation Chelsea fan or anything. Nah, I wasn't any of that. I grew up in London and just picked my closest club to me, which was Chelsea. And growing up, because I didn't go to games as much, you didn't really get the understanding that most football fans who do go to games have that understanding for. And I grew up hating Arsenal more, I can't lie. Looking at the rivalry of Spurs, growing up I didn't think there was a rivalry with them, mainly because Spurs weren't really competing with us. When I was getting into football, we were on a 16-year unbeaten run against them in the Premier League. They weren't our competitors. I thought Arsenal were our main competitors because they were the ones that were still in the top 4 race with us and were also the closest team to us in the top 4, so it was a bit of a derby feel to it as well. But I don't think the rivalry of Spurs with Spurs is forced. The hate is there for a reason. Look back to the 1967 Cup Final, or the Cockney Cup Final, where Spurs beat us with a couple of our really well-known ex-players at the time, Jimmy Greaves and Terry Venables. Don't forget the 1974-75 season as well, where both Chelsea and Spurs were on the brink of relegation. We went into a key must-win match against Tottenham, I think a point above Spurs, who were in the relegation zone. and we lost 2-0, and we didn't win our remaining 2 games, and we got relegated. So there's a lot of hate for Tottenham based off history, and we turned it around in the 90s. Like I said, the 16-year unbeaten run in the league, as well as only losing once at Stamford Bridge to them since 1990, and plenty other ways that we've just bantered Spurs off in the last decade or two. So I wouldn't say the rivalry with Spurs is forced. There is a lot of history behind it, but I'll also say if you hate another club over Spurs, I don't blame you, because I'm basically the same guy. So yeah, up to you. That 2015 title winning team is the best one out of the 3 that won the title in the 2010s. No. If anything, I put that as the lowest, mainly because that 2015 team from the second half of the season was a completely different team to the first one. For the first half of the season, we were playing amazing football. We were ripping teams apart left, right and centre. And people were even so quietly saying, could we go invincible? We lost to Newcastle in December. Jose hates going to St James's Park, simples. He's never even won there. But after we lost 5-3 to Tottenham on New Year's Day, things just changed up. I think Jose lost confidence at Chelsea side, and he was worried that we were going to bottle the league. I think Fabregas dropped in form in the second half of the season. Diego Costa did as well, and we were being dragged by Eden Hazard through games. You look at that compared to the team in 2010, yeah, it was a tighter run into the season, but we were playing a lot more attractive football and we were dominating teams a lot better. And I think when it comes to the 2017 season team, I think maybe that might have been the most dominant one out of the 3, because they were dominant, they were piping teams, they were top of the league by a landslide for a long period of time. Broke records as well. We don't speak about a lot of those records because Pep Guardiola's Centurions came the season afterwards and wiped nearly every single record that we had. But for me, I think the 2017 team's more dominant. It's granted that they didn't have Champions League football, and that is a big factor to why they were so dominant, because they had a lot of free midweeks, but I can only go by what I see. The 2017 team was just a lot more dominant, so I'm going to go with them. Alonso and Willian are both good footballers and perform well whenever I see them. Oh, I'm looking at the Avi, he's a Liverpool fan straight up, so I'm guessing the only game you've seen from us was that 2-0 win a couple weeks ago, because I do not know what you're talking about. Alonso and Willian are both good footballers. Alonso's good at left wing back, Willian. Next question. David Luiz is a Chelsea cult hero. You know what? I think once he leaves Arsenal, a lot of Chelsea fans will agree to it. Me personally, he is a cult hero. As much as we're all pissy with the way that his transfer to Arsenal went about, the guy played in Munich. The guy's won... Has he won everything at Chelsea? I don't think he's won the League Cup, but no one's really going to hold that against him. He's won a lot of trophies with Chelsea. He's won nearly everything there is to win. He is... When it comes to defending, it's very here or there, but he's still a great ball-playing centre-back. He's had a lot of memories at Chelsea. I do think once he leaves Arsenal, people are going to forget about that transfer ever happened, just going to go back to loving him again. You can't forget Munich 2012 when he came back after that... What was it? I think he came back injured because he was coming off an injury as well, same as Gary Cahill. The run to Europa League final, you can't forget the goal against Basel. What other memories you got with David Luiz? That entire 16-17 season where he was possibly one of the best defenders in the league. For just that one season, we had David Luiz fully on form for a long period of time. We could have had it for longer if it wasn't for Aguero kicking the shit out of him for no reason. But yeah, when it comes to David Luiz, low-key is a cult hero. A lot of fans aren't going to admit it right now, but as soon as he leaves Arsenal, I think a lot of Chelsea fans will be more willing to admit it. Well guys, that is the end of the video for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Unpopular Opinions. If you guys did, don't forget to like and subscribe to Blues Fans TV. Don't forget to press the bell notification button as well, so you guys will be the first to know whenever we upload any new content. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Like I said, we are crawling on the road to 100k, so every subscriber counts here. If you haven't done it already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my personal channel, Carefree Luis G, as well. There'll be some sort of content on there soon. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Up the Chels.